Good morning, good evening or good afternoon whenever you're watching this. I'm Autumn Blossom and welcome back to the channel. For the past 5 days I've been trying to challenge myself by writing by hand. I saw that my past video, which I'll link above, has been getting quite a lot of views recently, and I, for the life of me, couldn't understand why. But it was all about writing by hand, and I challenged myself to write a certain amount of words by hand. And I do know that by writing by hand I struggled, because I struggle to get all my thoughts down on paper because I cannot write fast enough. But it also makes you think, because obviously the more you write, what you write is more permanent than what you type. So let's just get down to the beef of it. Day one was a massive issue for me. I didn't want to do it. I had no motivation to actually pick up a pen and start writing. The fact that I was going to eventually type it up anyway kind of felt like it defeated the object, and I really had to force myself to do it, only writing 553 words. There was a massive lack of inspiration, but because I knew I was going to be writing every day, I realised that my word count would probably go up. So I just dealt with the fact that I only wrote 500 words and moved on, really. Day two, yeah, the inspiration was bumping up, but my hand was killing me. And I realised that all my good pens I had gotten rid of. They'd all run out of ink. So I went on a search for a better pen, basically. And that day I only wrote 666 words, more than yesterday. That's true, but I think I was also at a point in the story that I didn't actually want to write. And this is obviously Project Black Gold, and we know that I've had this constant struggle where I keep changing to a chapter that I don't particularly want to write, and then I dip out of it. So it was a battle trying to get me to write. Day three, that's when day three came along, and it was like I had punched through the wall that was stopping me from wanting to do this. I couldn't write fast enough, and I felt so inspired and I had so much that I wanted to write, but there was also a little nagging fear in the back of my head saying, like, don't write too much because you won't have anything to write later and you'll end up in the same spot you were 2 days ago. So I only wrote 461 words, and I know now that that was such a bad idea for me, because obviously my doubt affected my word count. And yeah, my hand hurted, and yeah, I needed to get a better pen, but I knew where I wanted this story to go, and I do now. So writing by hand already was affecting my inspiration, I felt. Though I think what also irritated me was that I couldn't get all of it down on a page. And then day 4 came around. I got a better pen, it had more of a cushion to it, and I was able to write more than I had in this time period. By then, obviously, I had loads more ideas, so I just carried on until all those ideas were used up, writing 726 words. Again, not a massive amount, but my plan wasn't really to write and upload, it was to write by hand to see how it would affect me and whether or not it's worth carrying it on that way. During that time I actually finished a chapter, and I knew that the next chapter was going to be a big struggle to continue writing, and I wasn't too sure where I wanted to start that chapter, or whose point of view I wanted to start that chapter. I created quite a lot of twists and turns in the actual story, and I'd added quite a lot of plot and depth to it. I didn't know what I wanted from it. Now the 5th day came around, and by then I'd already had 2 days away from writing because I'd been at work, and I didn't have the mindset to just sit down and write, and I'd kind of fallen out of the practice of it, which is a massive downfall. But at that point I'd also got a comment on the video that is obviously linked above still, saying that maybe writing with a pencil would be a better idea, and it was a massive help. Thanks to the comment, I wrote in pencil and it felt better. I felt like I could write faster. I don't know what it is, but writing with pencil is just so much easier than writing with pen. It must be a mental thing, I don't know, but even with the lack of inspiration that I knew I had, I was able to write 605 words. Again, it gave me more inspiration. Just biting the bullet and continuing writing really helped. And I know that my writing style is very much, if you write, you'll come up with ideas as you do so. But for some reason, I just never seemed to remember that at the time. The main issue that came about with writing with pencil, though, was that it became extremely messy because I never really lifted my pen off the paper, so it all became just one squiggle. And that's all well and good, but obviously I will be coming to typing this up, so if I can't read what I've written, it's no help to us, well, no help to me. But I feel that that pencil tip was a brilliant one. The idea that having it in pencil makes it even less permanent than is almost as permanent as typing, isn't it? Writing with pencil, because it's just quickly rubbed away. You can't see your mistake once it's rubbed away. And I really didn't like that idea, so it helped a lot. The 7 weeks were up, the 7 days were up at that point, and I was underwhelmed by the word count that I'd done in total. It was around 3,000 words. And that's something that I normally write in a day when typing, so with the concept of writing by hand and writing on the laptop, I probably would get more words through the laptop. But also with the laptop, it isn't as portable, so it has its pros and cons. I think being dyslexic, writing with the laptop on, writing on the laptop stops me sometimes and creates obviously distractions. When, for instance, I see a squiggly line under a word and I know that that's spelt wrong, it will irritate me for a while, and I'll spend a while trying to figure out how to spell it. But I am learning to ignore those for now, especially considering I'm such an edit freak. Was the challenge a success? I would say no, because I didn't get nearly as much work done as I thought I would, especially considering in the previous video I did so well. But I just wanted to see what I was like a good couple of months later with a completely different story, and I think that that's also something I should take into account. The video where I do it, my first writing challenge, I was basically near the end of the story that I'd been working on for weeks, years almost, you know. I'd been working on for months, and I knew where I wanted it to go, whereas with Project Black Gold it is completely new. I have no clue what I'm writing when I'm writing it, so they are very different projects and obviously got very different outcomes. Would I do it again? Probably, but maybe on my second draft rather than my first, because that lack of inspiration added on with the hassle, in a sense, of writing by hand isn't a good mix. But who knows? We'll see. It was a very strange video, I know, a very quick one and a very rushed and put together one. It was a writing challenge and I did it, but don't think it was particularly worth it. If you like what you're seeing, leave a like and a comment down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.